The air on Willow Lane was thick with tension, and I could hear Lisa Harper's voice slicing through the cul-de-sac before I even turned the corner. Her sharp, indignant shouts echoed off the manicured lawns, each word dripping with rage as she paced her pristine front yard, phone glued to her ear. She waved her free hand like a conductor of chaos, her face red with that particular fury I'd come to know all too well in the few months I'd dealt with her. "I don't care if it's not life-threatening," she barked into the phone. "Someone vandalized my property and cut my power. I want an officer here, saw." She paused, probably hearing the dispatcher's calm response, then doubled down, venom in her voice. "Listen to me. I'm the president of the Pine Grove Homeowners Association, and someone's going to jail today. I swear it." I eased my truck to the curb, taking my time as I grabbed my clipboard and tools. Neighbors were already poking their heads out, some on porches, others peeking through curtains, drawn to the spectacle like moths to a flame. Mrs. Clara Thompson from across the street caught my eye and gave a small, knowing shake of her head. Everyone in Pine Grove knew Lisa Harper, the HOA tyrant who ruled with an iron grip and a 3-inch binder of rules. As I stepped out, Lisa's eyes locked onto me, narrowing to slits. "He's here, saw right now, saw." She hissed into the phone, pointing at me like I was a wanted criminal. "The guy who cut my power just showed up at the scene." I sighed, heading toward the side yard where the electrical issue was, ignoring her theatrics. Sirens wailed in the distance, and Lisa's smug smile screamed VY Tory as she hung up, arms crossed, ready for justice. The patrol car rolled up, lights flashing but siren quiet. Lisa smoothed her designer sweater, prepping for what I figured was a rehearsed VY Tim speech. But when Sheriff Tom Bennett stepped out, her smugness faltered. Tom adjusted his hat, scanned the scene, and then, ignoring Lisa, completely grinned at me. "Hey, Jake," he called, striding over to shake my hand. "Got your message about the electrical problem. Didn't know I'd be showing up officially. Everything okay?" Lisa's jaw dropped, her face a mix of shock and betrayal. She didn't know Tom had been renting my Craftsman bungalow on Elm Street for 3 years, a fact that made this moment sweeter than I'd ever admit. See, I hadn't planned on being a landlord. My Uncle Henry, a lifelong bachelor and electrician, left me his small empire of rental properties when he passed 6 months ago. 5 houses, 3 in Pine Grove, plus a stack of tenant files including Tom's. Henry was a legend in his own way, a guy who'd quietly built his portfolio while dodging HOA nonsense. He'd clashed with Lisa for years, his meticulous notes documenting every overreach. I inherited those notes, along with his properties and his knack for standing firm. Lisa, though, was a force of nature. She'd swept into Pine Grove 5 years ago, climbing the HOA ladder with a smile that never reached her eyes and a rulebook she wielded like a sword. From grass height to paint shades, she enforced every detail with glee. Henry had been her nemesis, showing up to meetings with highlighted bylaws, ready to debate. Now, I was in his shoes, and Lisa had set her sights on me and my tenant, Sam Carter. Sam was the kind of tenant you dream of, a retired Navy vet, quiet, tidy, with a golden retriever named Max who barely barked. He kept a small vegetable garden in his backyard, hidden by a privacy fence. But Lisa hated renters, and Sam was her prime target. It started with a letter claiming his garden was unauthorized landscaping. I checked Henry's note. Sam had permission, and the bylaws only covered front yards. I fired back a polite but firm response, citing the rules. Then the complaints piled up. Max's barking, Sam's truck in the driveway, even wind chimes labeled noise pollution. Sam showed me a folder stuffed with 20 letters, each more absurd than the last. "I didn't want to bother you," he said, shrugging. "Thought she'd get tired of me." She didn't. Lisa's harassment escalated. She sent daily emails about tri-VY Allen fractions, organized inspections targeting my properties, and tried to pass a rule charging landlords extra fees. Sam called one night, voice tight. "Jake," she was peering through my windows today, taking notes. Said she had a right to inspect inside. That was it. I drove to Lisa's house the next morning, ready to draw a line. She answered in a tennis outfit, looking annoyed. "Miss Harper," I said, keeping my tone even, we need to talk about your harassment of Sam. He has a right to live in peace without fake violations or you snooping around. Her smile was ice cold. The HOA ensures standards, Mr. Larson. If your tenant's getting notices, maybe you should fix his issues. I held my ground. Your bylaws don't give you the right to trespass or invent rules. Push this further, and I'll take it to the border court. Her eyes flickered, sizing me up, but she dismissed me with a wave. We'll see, she said, checking her watch. I have a match to get to. I thought I made my point, but then came the streetlight complaint. Someone guess who told the utility company the light at Willow and Oak, near Sam's house, was out, a safety hazard. I checked. It was fine. But while poking around, I noticed a new junction box on Sam's fence, wired to power the HOA's fancy entrance lights. A quick check showed Sam's electric bill had spiked 30 fan tram, despite his frugal habits. This wasn't just rule bending, it was theft. I hired an electrician to disconnect the tap, filed a report with the utility company, and waited for the fallout. It didn't take long. 15 minutes after the electrician left, Sam called, half amused, half worried. Jake, Lisa's losing it on her lawn, screaming about vandalism and calling the cops. I raced back to Pine Grove. Neighbors were out, watching Lisa pace, shouting into her phone. Criminal trespassing. Vandalism, she yelled. Someone sabotaged community property. She spotted me, her glare pure venom. He's here, she told the dispatcher. The perpetrator's back. I stayed calm. Miss Harper, I had an electrician disconnect an illegal tap into Sam's power. It was costing him money. Her face flushed deeper. That's a lie. The entrance lights are on the community grid, paid by HOA dues. I raised an eyebrow. Then show me the permits and bills pro-VYing it. She faltered, and the neighbors murmured. The siren grew louder, and Lisa preened, ready to play VY Tim. The patrol car stopped, and Tom stepped out, heading straight for me. What's going on, Jake? He asked. Lisa jumped in, voice trembling with fake outrage. Sheriff, this man cut power to HOA property, creating a safety hazard. I handed Tom the electrician's report. Not true. Someone tapped Sam's electricity to power those lights without permission. It's been costing him for months. Tom's face hardened as he re-VY-EU'd the photos. This is an illegal connection, Miss Harper. Utility theft is serious. Lisa sputtered. That's absurd. The HOA pays for those lights. Tom wasn't buying it. Not according to this. The power's coming from Sam's meter. Then Mike Chun, the HOA treasurer, stepped forward, voice steady. Lisa, you told us the lighting project was permitted and paid for. If that's not true, we've got a problem. Lisa whirled on him. Not now, Mike. But the crowd was growing, and her control was slipping. This is a conspiracy, she shrieked. He's turned you all against me. Tom cut in firm. Miss Harper, calm down. Jake's within his rights to disconnect that tap. You'll need proper permits to restore those lights. He turned to me. You pressing charges? I shook my head. Just want Sam reimbursed and this fixed. Lisa's face paled, but her eyes burned. This isn't over, she hissed, storming off. The fallout was swift. The HOA board held an emergency meeting, and Lisa's lies unraveled. The lighting project had no permits, and HOA funds were misused. 2 weeks later, a notice went up. Lisa had stepped down, and Mike took over. Sam called, his relief palpable. It's like the neighborhood can breathe again. No one's measuring my grass or eyeing my trash cans. Lisa stayed in her perfect house, but kept her head down, her days of clipboard patrols over. Tom, still my model tenant, mentioned the HOA was running smoother now. And me? I just wanted to keep Sam's home peaceful and my property safe. But here's where it gets juicy. Did Lisa really think she could get away with stealing power, or was she just desperate to control everything? Should I have pressed charges to make a point, or was letting her crash and burn enough? And what about the neighbors who stayed quiet for so long? Were they complicit, or just scared? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you're Team Jake, and subscribe for more stories where the underdog flips the script.